Hey everyone, what's going on? Joe and Mike back here. And we are going to cover the come on, stop blurring me out. The one sorry. Let me see. The one game from last night, which was the Pacers and the Knicks game. Yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it, right? Let me actually why don't you go first? I gotta pull up what I wrote down anyways.
I mean, I know you got to go first. I mean, I know that you got some stuff to pull up, but I don't have all the stats in front of me, so it might be better if you go first.
Okay, I
But
already got
you know
it.
what I mean?
Um Yeah, so the Knicks get a real early lead, double-digit lead for the Knicks, but then an 11-0 run by the Pacers, namely Toppin cuts it to a tie. Hart had this great play, coast to coast. He got like this rebound. I'm surprised there wasn't a foul called, like, one of those plays where everyone's just kind of in there scuffling. Hart gets it out. Hart takes it all the way up, juked out like two people. I never seen Hart do anything like that. That was really impressive. Um, the Pacers, though, they keep hammering with that 11-0 momentum run. Then they leave Halliburton wide open from three. And it's not like one of those situations where like everyone realizes they can't get over. Like there's a guy like right next to Halliburton that's just like staring at him like, bitch, you gonna make this? And Halliburton makes it a 10-point game. What was I gonna say? That is pretty much the point differential all the way through like middle of the third. Brunson got roughed up in the beginning. I thought he just maybe banged his groin or something because he was holding down there for a little bit. But then later in the game, he leaves because of a foot injury. He comes back. He's hobbled. So Brunson wasn't looking too hot in terms of himself and also his health. DiVincenzo, we need to talk about DiVincenzo later, remind me. The Knicks, however, like I said, is mainly like a 10 10-point differential. Pacers leading for most of the game. And then a 17-0 run for the Knicks, completely unacceptable for the Pacers. OG Anunoby was having himself a game. Um, so I think he gets like a big three to make it this 17-0 instead of 14-0. And then the Pacers get a basket, they get the ball back, and he blocks Neesmith, and then they take it up to score. And then I think Neesmith comes back again and tries to get it in. And a Hart blocks him, which is absolutely hilarious. And Hart feeds Anunoby, who feeds DiVincenzo, and DiVincenzo puts it home. Anunoby, I didn't see the play it happened on, but he injures his left hamstring soreness or something. So Anunoby leaves the game. He does not come back. This is the start of the fourth, so there is significant time here without someone who at the time was definitely their best player of the night. But Brunson wakes up. Um, before that, Toppin goes off again. Toppin gets him within five, or he gets him within three, and then Brunson starts scoring, and then it's a 1-point game. Brunson and Halliburton keep answering each other, and then finally DiVincenzo wakes back up and ices it. So we ended here with the Pacers stats being Halliburton 6 rebounds, 9 assists, and 34 points. Toppin 20 points. Siakam was 9 and 14. Shout out for Ben Shepherd. He's a rookie on this team. He got double-digit points. I don't remember him getting double-digit points before. He may have. I just didn't notice, but good for him. Brunson, who was really quiet before the fourth quarter, I'd say 15, ends with 29. Likely knowing that he had to score to replace Anunoby's points because Anunoby left. He and DiVincenzo shared 28 points. Hartenstein, 12 and 14. Hart, damn near triple double, 15, 7, and 19. The Knicks out rebounded them by 10, but both teams were in the 50% in terms of field goals. So, yeah, you have Sibber, you want to lead with this?
Um, I mean, for me personally, my biggest takeaway is it was a great win for the Knicks, all things considered, but I think that this series is about to like shift dramatically because in typical Coach Tom Thibodeau fashion, his entire freaking starting five just looks absolutely wiped and just done and winded. Um, because that's just the style of play he is. That's how he's always been as a coach. He has never learned from that, and he has never tried to switch it up. That's just always been him. So honestly, like from what I watched, it was like they won last night, but a little bit at a cost to me. Like I don't know, I just really think that from here on out, like they're just the Knicks are going to look completely different energy wise, and not in a good way. Um, I'm not saying they still can't win this series, but I definitely expect Indiana to win the next two games. And I mean, I don't know, maybe home court might carry them, the Knicks, but I don't know. I think that this series is about to really shift just off of that alone. That's probably my biggest takeaway from the game. I mean, I know like Brunson came back and everything, and he was fine, but I'm telling you, man, he's even if he was hurt, they would still find a way to play him. It's just how Thibodeau is, and but you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe they could power through. Julius Randle got hurt. We thought that they might be in trouble. They came back. They were fine. A couple other people get hurt. Maybe the Knicks are just a well coached team, and they can get it done either way. And the Pacers aren't good enough. So I don't know. We'll
Mhm.
see. But it definitely it's my main takeaway was just some things never change. That was my main
Yeah.
takeaway.
Yeah, because like we said, Anunoby did not return to the game. Left hamstring. I'm not sure. I don't think that's ACL, and I don't think that's Achilles. So those are two good
Yeah.
things for him in terms of long term. But you never know with this kind of stuff. So whether or not we see him in Game 3, I'm not sure if the Knicks
I
really
mean,
talked about his status post game.
well, the thing is though, like that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's any serious injuries, but I guess that's kind of like my point is like it's just gonna be like little nagging injuries that play a factor. Like I think everyone might play next game. Well, everyone that played last night. I think
They
everyone
could.
might
They
play,
very well
but no, I'm saying I think they will, but that's still kind of my point is like they're still not going to be healthy at full strength. So that's why I think that this series is going to shift.
Yeah, because I remember yesterday I was texting you about Bogdanovich and Burks. Literally traded for these guys with the Pistons this year, not using them. So not exactly sure why, but
Well, one
now
of them was hurt.
I
One
forgot
of
it's
them,
because of Thibodeau or Thibodeau,
yeah.
whatever his fucking name is.
Well, one of them was hurt. I saw.
Maybe because Burks played, so probably Bogdanovich. But
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? Um,
I don't know. What were you gonna
s-
say?
s- so. Oh, I wanted to talk to you about DiVincenzo because, like, this guy has stepped up huge. I didn't realize this dude, like, is not at all this kind of player. His previous playoff point high was 6.6 with the Bucks in 2020. When they won the chip in 21, he averaged 2.5 points a night. And this year, he had his career high, I'm pretty sure, with 15.5 in the regular season per night, which like I think he's outscored every single game in the playoff. Like I wouldn't be surprised. So like, are we just seeing like some random insanity run from DiVincenzo, or what do you make of this?
Well, no, I think a lot of times too, like some of those numbers can be skewed because, like, for example, like on that Bucks team, like DiVincenzo, like his role wasn't to score. Like they had enough people
Mm.
for that. Like he had other roles. On the team. So I definitely think he's improved, but I think the stats are just a little bit not really telling the story because you got to look at that roster. You got to look at that 2021 roster that they had. Like
Hmm.
he was never gonna be a guy that was gonna get you like 15 a night or something with that team. It just was literally impossible. That would be like Pritchard right now. Like, honestly, if Pritchard played for the Pelicans this year, he probably would have averaged something a game in the first round of the playoffs. But with the
Mm.
Celtics, he wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So I mean, not to
Yeah.
take anything away from it because I do like what he's doing and I think he has improved. He's just showing how good of a player he is because he can do whatever a team he can adjust to whatever role that a team needs you to do, and that's what great role players do.
So
And he
so are
definitely
you at
falls
all
under that list.
surprised that he's doing this well, or did you see this coming?
I'm su- No, I'm surprised. I guess I'm just surprised. let me put it this way. I'm not surprised that any NBA player can play like that on any given night. I'm just more so
Yeah.
surprised that that was the role called for him and he was able to rise to that occasion so seamlessly, I guess is what I'll say, you know. So yeah, I guess to in a, you know, yeah, I guess I am surprised. Yeah.
It's not only a one night thing though. I feel like every given night, DiVincenzo's coming out and doing what he needs to do, making some really
No,
clutch buckets. And
I didn't say
I
it
feel like maybe
was.
he's I feel like maybe he's filling a Julius Randle role in some parts. You think like maybe he wouldn't be doing this or given this role were the Knicks fully healthy with Randle and stuff. But you know, he's definitely been an X factor in this series. He was a big factor in the Sixers series. Because wasn't yeah, it was him who hit that really big three in game 2 to prevent the Sixers from tying up the series. So
Mhm.
that was huge. And DiVincenzo has been excellent these playoffs. Um, I just think I think you're right. I think it'll be interesting to watch the Knicks going forward. The Pacers have been really utilizing their bench over the last few games, and the Knicks the entire playoffs have been doing the exact opposite. Um, so it'll be interesting to see if Brunson can still come out and do what he needs to do. If he's not feeling because he had 29 points, right? I mean, he didn't have a bad night. His fourth quarter was exemplary, and that's obviously like, you know, the extent of his pain because he's already played on it for 36 minutes. So he did excellent on that foot in the fourth quarter. We'll see if it was an adrenaline thing or if he wakes up on what is it, Saturday and still comes out with the same kind of gusto that we expect from a guy like Jalen Brunson while healthy. DiVincenzo, knock on wood, I think he's feeling fine. We'll see about OG Anunoby. This was definitely Anunoby's best game of the playoffs. So him underperforming next game if he plays, I know overreactions are going to happen, but they shouldn't because I don't think he's doing this again, whether he's healthy or not, at least for a little bit. I'm not sure if we lost Mike. He's sitting very still. Oh
No,
no,
no, no, I'm
he's
right here.
moving. He's moving. He's sitting very, very still. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say on the matter. Halliburton, they're underrating Halliburton. They're leaving him wide open for threes. I expect a triple double at some point from Halliburton this series. Probably at home in the next couple games. They just need Siakam to start going off again. They need to be it's hard to say they need to have some players step up offensively because they're making over 50% of their field goals, but they need specific players to, you know, solidify themselves as like heroes of this series. Because if they win this series, obviously they go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's going to be players are remembered for carrying their teams to the Eastern Conference. If Brunson gets them there, everyone's going to be like that Linsanity run by Brunson, blah, blah, blah. The Pacers need to have Siakam or Halliburton wake up inherit, at least for Halliburton's sake, their in-season tournament selves and
What?
drive their team to the ECF.
So real quick, right? So first of all, it was good to see Halliburton play like that again. You know, I feel like, you know, really like I know he's had his moments, but like for the most part, like this whole second half of the season, Halliburton like looked like Celtic Shaq compared to the first half of the season for him. He
Right.
looked like absolute dog shit. But I think that you know what's funny though, Joe, is like, you know, you talk about, you know, the Linsanity run and everything. Like Brunson has already surpassed that. Like
Mm,
Brunson is already like Brunson is now in the conversation of like if he gets to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, he will probably be considered the third or fourth best Nick ever. But again,
that's nuts.
the Knicks are a really really bad organization. So like
Oh,
it's that's kind of why I'm saying it's like it's not really set like, you know, like, and like the Linsanity run was crazy, but you know it was for like 13 games in the regular season. So it's like, you know, like
mm,
to me and I think to most other people, like this run that Brunson has had has been much more impactful. Jeremy Lin's run was a greater moment. And man, was that a moment. I mean, I remember like just as a basketball fan, like every night though for those like 2 weeks, like just turning on the TV and just being like, yo, this guy, like, okay, this guy did this. He had a game winner. This guy, he shot 30 on Kobe, on freaking prime Kobe. And
Right.
I mean, he was doing some crazy shit, but then he just kind of fell off. Like, I think Brunson is, I think Brunson really, if he does what he's supposed to do, he's gonna go down as like, one of the greatest Knicks ever, which is just so crazy to think about. Like 2 years ago when he was on the, or even like a year and a half ago when he was on the Mavericks, and it just like everyone was like, this guy's a good two guy, and everybody, you look up clips, every single person was like, he cannot be your number one option, like he just can't be.
Right.
Um, and he proved everyone wrong, but yeah, that's my I don't even know why I went on that tangent, but yeah, that's how I
Just
feel.
Phillies and Brunson. I mean, Brunson, Kyrie. I mean, they probably wouldn't have had this money to get Kyrie, but Brunson, Kyrie, Luca would have been absolutely crazy for the Mavericks. Um, but I think I had something else, but oh, I was
Well,
just
that's
gonna
the
say
thing.
that
That's
I,
the
I,
real,
I was
real
just
quick. That's the thing too. Is Brunson? The Knicks didn't get Brunson for a whole lot of money because Brunson wasn't Brunson yet.
right.
Um, but yeah.
I was just gonna say I'm hopeful. Obviously, as Celtics fans, we want the series to go on as long as possible. Um, I'm hopeful because last time a team was up 2-0, you're like, yeah, no, they're losing the next two away, and they did in the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'm hoping I'm counting on you with that. I didn't believe you one bit, but it happened. So I'm counting on you with this one. The Pacers haven't shown us any signs of not being able to pull together a win. They a couple tight losses here. They weren't getting blown up by the opposition, and they weren't playing absolutely terribly. Especially last night, they just allowed a really stupid run for the Knicks and just never could recover from it. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a much more competitive series after Game 3. But
Yeah,
I
I'll tell
think
you
that's
what,
all
man. I
you.
want. Yeah, well, yeah, that's basically what happened. I just wanted to say too, like, I know like the Pacers would be an easier matchup for us, but man, I want the Knicks. I want the both Gardens playing every other night in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like that would be New York versus Boston. Like, man, the energy would just be absolutely electric, and all if that series went to seven, all 7 games will feel like a game 7.
Hmm.
So for just sports fans in general, I think it's about time we get that. I think it's about time we get one of those, man. And I mean, hopefully this is it.
Yeah, I want friggin' Spike Lee to hate us. Ben Stiller fuming. But yeah, that's all we got. So tomorrow, what do we got tonight? We got the Timbies and we got the South. No, not the
Nope,
Timbies,
nope.
because
Thunder and
some
Mavs.
Thunder and Mavs, and then Celtics and Cavs.
You
That
got you
rhymes.
got any you got any predictions?
Not really. I think the Mavericks will probably take game 2. Um, and I don't know. The Boston sports teams have been historically ass in game 2s. So I don't know where to make my prediction. If we're losing any game, dude, it's true. We suck in
No,
game.
no. If we're losing any game, it's not this one. It'll be in Cleveland, if anything. We're not losing tonight.
I'm very unconfident
Not.
in Boston's abilities to win a game 2.
Oh, so.
I'm being careful, Mike. I don't know why you asked that. You knew what the response was going to be. Do you agree? You don't know why you asked me that?
No, I wasn't even that. I was just asking like what your predictions, who you thought was going to win tonight. It
Uh,
still seems like you think the Celtics can win if you had to put your money on it.
yeah, I
So I
just
don't know
I
why
just
you
want
have to add like that, like, oh, that, like,
I think I
little
think
tidbit.
we need I think we need to do exactly what we did the other night, and just once we're at a comfortable lead, which hopefully we get, feed Tatum. Try to wake him up, try to get him going. I think that needs to be our focus this series. If the coaching and the players are as confident as you are that we're going to win this series regardless, then our main focus this series is not to beat the Cavaliers. Our main focus this series is to wake up Tatum. I think it's to beat the
Yeah,
Cavaliers, but I'm just saying.
I disagree from a sense of like needing to feed Tatum. I think Tatum just needs to go off within the offense of our system because if we just start trying to focus on feeding Tatum, then we get out of our offense. So it's like a weird fine line you kind of got to draw there. Um,
I get that's I guess, yeah.
because I mean
But
like that sometimes we're at our worst when we're going one on one, you know. But yeah, I definitely I see the Celtics winning tonight. I think the Mavs bounce back and win tonight, but again, I mean they're at OKC, so I'm sure that crowd's going to be electric again. So who knows if the Thunder go up 2-0 at this point, that honestly wouldn't shock me. But
mm,
I'm curious. I'm curious to see for the superstars tonight. I'm curious to see if Tatum wakes up, and I'm curious to see if Luka wakes up. So let's see if we see
sure.
that.
That would be cool. But yeah, that is all for this episode. We'll be back tomorrow. Or someone will be back tomorrow. See you then.